Okay.
So we start?
Yeah.
Okay.
안녕하세요. 홀로 여행하는 마르콜로입니다. 여기 계신 분은 호스텔에서 이제 만난 이제 중국 친구고요. 계속 이 친구랑 이야기를 해보면서 이런 생각을 가지고 있다고 할 정도의 생각들을 가지고 있었어요. 그래가지고 일단은 오늘은 제가 이렇게 좀 질문들을 던질 거예요. Sensitive a little bit.
Yeah, I love it.
예. 근데 너무 좋아요. 이분 소개는 안 하겠습니다. For safety.
Yeah.
그래서 절대 안 하겠습니다.
Big is watching.
오, 벌써부터 세요.
It's a very big passport.
Okay.
Actually, before that, in Chinese we call those people 小粉, like the little pink. It's very interesting. The color of communism is red, and red represents communism. But after the Chinese changed a lot, especially in economy. Seems like a totally or even more capitalist country. So nowadays, the nationalists call themselves they are still red, but mix some white in it because white represents the capitalism. So when they mix, there's pink. So that's why we call them little pink. Everyone in China who were educated from the Chinese education system was little pink. They were educated to nationalist. So I also have that period. Sometimes I also think of myself why I can change later. One of the reasons I think is because of I love history. When I entered senior high school, I met a very good historian teacher. She taught me a lot about Chinese modern history. She also witnessed the Square Massacre.
okay.
Yeah, but it is very sensitive in China to talk about that.
Yeah.
But she introduced something about 1989. She doesn't speak directly. She used a very skillful strategy to She still used a lot of time to read some famous books for us and discuss in the classroom. So she reflects and she influenced me a lot. That makes me to think independently.
So you drew it when you almost teenager.
Yeah. When I was 17 years old. Actually, this is a thought in Asian China, where the great and other people are uncivilized. In 1840, China was first invaded by the Britain. I think after that war, we started not to think like that. But there's another very serious problem. We didn't consider us superior than other nationalities. During the war, nationalism is something necessary. But the fact is that even after the war, we were dropped into the trap and cannot get out. The nationalism in China nowadays is very unhealthy. For me, I'm not a nationalist and I hate nationalism. And there is something much more important than the country and than the nation. Really respect them. It's only 7 million people, but they need to fight against the 1.4 billion people's country. In the propaganda of China, we always describe them as terrorists or they want to get independence from China. But actually, I know, there are indeed someone who want to get independence from China, but little percentage. Most of them just want to fight for freedom, fight for democracy. Even if they want to get independence, I can understand because the Chinese Communist Party is such a biggest communist. They cannot, call the people in China mainland to change themselves. If I cannot change you, I can only change myself, and I want to get divorced. That is what I imagine, what they think. And also for the people in Taiwan, for me, the best result is China mainland can change to a peaceful, democratic, and a free country. If that happens, Taiwan is naturally want to unite as the same country. Yeah, like East Germany and West Germany. We are in the same culture. We speak the same language. But if China cannot be changed, the independence of Taiwan is not bad. What do you mean?
We have hanbok.
Hanbok?
Yeah.
Traditional clothes.
And the kimchi.
Kimchi? What is kimchi?
You don't know kimchi. China, that's our traditional. So
they are quite boring actually. 1 week ago, there was a protest. I don't know the English name. The Gate of Victory. They tried to prove that the clothes sewed in Dior is stolen from Chinese culture. They protest French.
Okay.
Oh, you steal. Or there is a sentence written by Hegel. The general meaning is like everything is corporeal, but only spirit. Only spirits they won't disappear. So that's why I think they are boring. They are fight for something nonsense. I don't think they understand what the real culture is. The real culture is always the spirit. Nowadays there are a lot of Chinese people. They like to wear the traditional Chinese clothes and they show it to others. That is our culture. They don't know the core of the culture. I cannot find a good translation for it. But I think Korean know that. 仁义礼智信
We call in, 의예 지 신.
It's very similar. Yeah. This is the core of Kongzi, of Chinese culture, but they don't understand that. They just care about clothing. If they really care about the Chinese culture, they need to think about how to maintain such good value and pass it to the next generation, but not just care about the clothing.
Okay.
I remember that you told me
Yeah.
a lot of Chinese people thought, a lot of Korean people thought Kongzi belongs to the Korea.
We always thought that Gongsu is a Chinese
Yeah. Actually, I heard that a lot of
community.
a lot of little things. I also don't know who have such an opinion first. There are 1.4 billion people, and you can you can find any crazy. But such an opinion can become popular. I'm sad that a lot of ignorant Chinese people, they really believe in that. They thought Korean people are so crazy. They don't know who is the real crazy. I heard about it, but it's just like some rumors. Actually, I heard the details from Falun Gong. It's a religion, which is tortured by the Chinese government. Their propaganda is sometimes something more ridiculous than the Chinese government's propaganda.
Okay.
They said that a lot of their members, because most of them was put in the jail, they said in the jail, the doctor or the policeman will get their organ and sell to others when they are alive. But I cannot verify their saying because of their history. They always report a lot of fake news, and like every year they report Jiang Zemin, who is the first president who banned this religion. So every year they report that Jiang Zemin died. But later it's proved that it's a fake news. You don't need to care about that. It's not a very serious thing. You need to pay attention.
Okay.
At least mid class.
Okay.
Otherwise they won't have enough money. Chinese governments nowadays they want to send their students outside, especially for those students who study in STEAM. Sometimes you can see some very luxury students. For those students, their father is very successful businessman or corrupted officer in government. Travelers, I think most of them are just middle class, not so rich. Is really a dictator, but also dictators are always really smart. But he used his wisdom the wrong way. He knows how to centralize his power and he knows how to maintain his power, become a dictator, but he doesn't know anything about the economy. He just wants the economy grow very fast because he wants to become the leader, but at that time China is so poor. And China doesn't have the ability to compete with Soviet Union. He just gives the order, double. The production of iron must double this year and double next year. If they cannot achieve that goal, they will be put into the prison, put into the jail. So that's why they also put forward a lot of crazy policy, like they will destroy our pot or cooker to make iron. Actually, we should use iron to make pot, but actually. At that time we use pot to make iron. So he should be responsible for the massacre in Tiananmen in 1989. But what makes him better is at least he gives the Chinese people the freedom in economy. In the past, in the Mao's age, no any private shop or private company. After Deng's age, he allowed us to do our own business. Due to that policy, the Chinese economy grows very fast. But he started the reform in economy but he stopped in 1980. He stopped the reform in politics. Politics, we are still like the Asian time. We are still the pre-modern country. So it's very complex now. In the past, before Jiang Zemin, they are dictator, but they are not so dictator. They continue the policy of developing and leave us freedom in economy. But after Jiang came to power, all things changed. He changed the constitution in China, which makes him become the lifelong president forever. After COVID-19, because of the restriction against COVID-19, even if there are several, like 10 people get infected in a 10 million city, the whole city will be locked down. So how can the company run? So due to that policy, a lot of people lose their job. And if you don't have saving in bank account, maybe they can ask for their friends and relatives help. But if they cannot, I don't know how can they survive. At the beginning of the COVID-19, due to this policy, the government succeed. I can see that they succeed. They control better than the other companies, than the United States and Europe. So the government was quite proud. But later, things changed. You can see nowadays the COVID-19 is just like a flu, but they still continue their policy.
Yeah.
Just because this policy is put forward by. If someone said it's time to change, that means he is not respectful to and to punish him.
Thank
Thank you. Also, thank you very much to let others know. Not all Chinese people are they're washed. There are still some clear.
바이바이. 제가 생각했던 어떤 중국인의 모습보다는 약간 다른 의견이나 입장을 줄 수 있는 시간이어서 되게 신기했습니다. 저는 홀로 여행하는 마르코홀로였고요. 여기 프랑스 파리에서 영상을 마무리하도록 하겠습니다.